Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Lewis, and I am the engagement manager for SMU Data Arts. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm going to just provide my physical description really quickly. I am an African American cis woman in my mid 30s. I am wearing a white blouse with clear rim colored glasses with straight hair. My background is a white wall. On behalf of our team at SMU Data Arts, we want to extend our sincere thanks and appreciation to each of you for joining today's session to learn a little bit more about the cultural data profile. And for many of you for taking the time to enter your data into the cultural data profile this year. We are so excited and thankful for your partnership, and congratulations on another year of successful data entry. Now, before we go into our presentation, I do want to take a moment to pause, and we do this to acknowledge the lands that we're all on. From coast to coast, we do come together on a virtual platform, but we take this moment to acknowledge the unceded and ancestral territory of all First Nations people. Specifically at SMU Data Arts, we take this moment to honor the Apache, the Caddo, Comanche, Cush-Ata, Tonkawa, Wichita, affiliated Kichi, Waco, Taiwanese, and Lenni Lenape peoples, upon whose traditional territories SMU Data Arts now exists. In this moment, we invite you to share your own personal or local land acknowledgement. Feel free to explore that chat feature. Ensure that you are sharing with everyone, and you can share your own personal local land acknowledgement. We would love to know what part of the globe you're coming from. Our team is also going to share a digital land map, If you would like to learn more about the local Indigenous community in your neighborhood, we encourage you to explore that link. Now for some brief housekeeping. We're today for just 45 minutes, but I want to be sure that you're very comfortable with the features that we'll be using today. Feel free to take a moment to explore the chat feature. For any questions that you may have, or if you would like to contact or stay connected with some of the links that we're dropping, feel free to use the chat feature, and it's a great way to stay connected with us. We also have the Q&A feature. If you have any questions during our time today, drop a question during the Q&A, and we have some folks in the background who can help answer some of those questions. If you would like to use closed captioning, that is available for today's presentation. To activate that feature, simply click the CC icon located on your Zoom dashboard, and you'll be prompted to either view a closed captioning by subtitle or by live transcript. If you need any assistance with any of the features in Zoom, feel free to send us a chat, and someone on our team in the background will be happy to assist you. And one of the most common questions that we get is, are we recording today's presentation? We are, and we'll be sure to share a link with you in our follow-up communications. With that, I would like to go ahead and introduce some of my amazing colleagues who are joining today's presentation. So I want to say hello and welcome Dan Gordon, who is our Data Collections and Support Manager. Dan, would you like to say hello and maybe provide your physical description?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Gordon. I've been here with SMU Data Arts since 2019. I am a white cis male with a handlebar mustache and beard, and my hair is up in a bun, and I am wearing metal-rimmed glasses today.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. I would also like to introduce AJ Taylor, who is our Support Center Specialist. AJ, would you like to say hello as well?
Sure thing, Monica. Hello, everyone. I am AJ Taylor. I use he, him pronouns. I am a white cis male who was recently in his mid-30s. I have brown hair, glasses, a green shirt, and a beard. Thank you so much. And back to you, Monica.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan and AJ. I want to quickly just go over our session overview for today. Of course, we're still really just excited to celebrate you and your year of entering data into the CDP. But we'll also take a moment to look at some highlights that came from the cultural data profile. We'll briefly explore some of the insights that were provided from the CDP data to the sector. And I also want to share that we'll have a bit of a sneak peek of insights provided from the field from our team as well. We'll play a quick game, so to dust off your CDP trivia. And before, I'll be sure to share what's on the horizon and what you can expect from Data Arts in the upcoming year. And to start, I just want to share a brief overview of SMU Data Arts. Our mission is to provide and engage organizations with and individuals with evidence-based insights needed to collectively build strong, vibrant, and equitable art communities. We do this by employing cutting-edge research techniques and high-powered computing to test hypotheses, build theory, and increase understanding of the arts and cultural sector. Our research efforts range from academic papers published in leading journals, applied research undertaken by and undertaken with community partners, and actionable insights shared directly with the arts through their practitioners. Now, I want to switch things over to Dan, who's going to walk through some of the data collection and highlights from this year. Dan?
Most of you are probably familiar with the Culture Data Profile, or CDP. For those of you that are not, this is an annual survey that collects and organizes data from across the arts and cultural sector. Each CDP contains financial, workforce, and programmatic information for a single fiscal year. So we have a profile for each year an organization completes a new CDP. This data is then stored and can be exported to a CSV format for research purposes. It also is joined with other data sources for a more robust data set. We then use for topical research papers, cultural benchmarking projects like the Arts Vibrancy Report, and other sector-wide research. Those of you who have entered your data or in the process of doing so, we thank you so much for your time and energy that you put into entering and undergoing this process that makes our work possible. I now would like to take a moment to talk about from where in the country the majority of our organizations report data. This year, we saw a steady entry from our West Coast partners. From Los Angeles to Oregon, many organizations, large and small, entered their data. The Midwest was also another region that had high data entry this year. And our many partners, old and new, contributed to the East Coast. Our new partners in Florida will really bring that area into highlight as well. Overall, across the nation, these regions contributed and added to our data for fiscal years 23, 22, 21, and even fiscal year 2020 for a total of 3,865 profiles from 3,029 unique organizations. We think it's great to highlight the successes, but we'd like to share context to another year of data entry and some of the tools many organizations used. Our goal is to limit as many barriers in the data entry process as possible. And this year, we've tracked many organizations using our definitions, about 200 cases, and knowledge-based articles as resources. We also saw that more folks attended our live training webinars that provided an orientation to the CDP. These sessions are a great starting place to get oriented with the CDP and to ask questions. We always have a member of our support team at those webinars to answer any questions that you have. If our platform users can't make any of those live webinars, we also have on-demand orientation that you can always return to or share with colleagues as a helpful data entry tool. This year, we also saw many organizations work with our support center team one-on-one. The financial sections on the CDP do ask for plenty of specific detail. And for many folks, this might be stressful. I want to make sure that you know that we're here to assist. This year, we worked with about 170 organizations, reviewing their financial documents and advising them on their data entry. Doing this allows for accuracy and consistency. Just reach out if you are struggling to make any of your data work in the app, and we'll help you get through it to the finish line. Now, those were a few of the tools and resources that we saw more organizations use this year that leads to successful data entry. On our side of the house, we made a few updates that we think improved our experience as well. The first deals with technology. In the past few years, we've made a number of upgrades and adjustments to streamline the CDP. This year, we slowed down the technology changes, and this reduced the number of technology issues and downtime organizations experienced. With fewer bugs, people were able to enter data without technology barriers. We also made more improvements to accessibility, and not just with the CDP. As an organization, we have listened to users on ways to make the CDP and its resources more accessible to the field, to language availability, one-on-one support from the support center, and thoughtful resources. Our team will continue to make sure Our team will continue to work to make sure that our resources are accessible to the field. And truly, the largest cornerstone of that comes from the support center team. Our response rate remains high, and we sometimes surprise users with the availability of live specialists to help. We are available from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Time. We know that grant deadlines can be a stressful period, so responding to your questions and concerns remains a top priority for us. Let me introduce you to the rest of the team. You've met AJ and myself, but I wanted to shout out the rest of our team. Eamon Doherty, who is our Senior Support Center Specialist, and Eamon has been with us since Data Arts since 2013. You can just say hello to the team, Eamon.
Hey, everybody, this is Eamon here. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and looking forward to a new year with SMU Data Arts.
Thanks, Eamon. We also have Ben Eisenhower. He is a support center specialist who started with us in 2019 and is a fierce advocate for our users. Would you say hello, Ben?
Hi, everybody. Glad to see you all on the webinar today. Look forward to working with you all in the new year.
Great. Thank you so much, Ben. No matter how you communicate with us, be it via email or by the phone, you'll receive help from one of these folks who is excited to work with you. Before I switch things back over to Monica, I want to share our updated winter holiday hours. We will be closed Friday, 12/22, Monday, 12/25, and Monday, January 1st. We also have reduced hours from Tuesday to Friday of the week between Christmas and New Year's. And those dates are 12/26 to 12/29, and we'll be open from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We can be reached via phone or email, and the phone number is 877-707-3282, or email at help@culturaldata.org. Over to you, Monica. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. As we shared earlier, your work with the cultural data profile, it allows us to have insights that we can provide to the field. And sometimes the field will be able to use our data set to have some more information. With that, I want to share a couple of ways of how our data has been able to provide insights. And I want to start with you. As an organization, once you enter your data into the cultural data profile, it gives you the power of a variety of information. So you can have research, but you also have these analytic tools that are available to you. We offer a suite of analytic reports that allow organizations who enter their data to either benchmark their work against their peers or see patterns that help by analyzing years of trend data. These reports, they can also provide ready-made data and visuals grouped around a specific topic of interest. Right now, we have 3 analytic reports that are available to you, and that's the annual report, the trend report, and comparison report. You're also able to utilize our KIPI dashboard once you enter your data into our system. Once organizations enter their data, the dashboard will allow our organizations the ability to understand their financial and operating performance relative to similar organizations. Benchmarking scores range from 1 to 100, and they hit 24 different key performance indicators. We say you get to learn that intangible thing that maybe it's providing you with success. And then you can also learn about our data set, and that can provide insights to the sector. Now, I want to share with you a couple examples across the field of how other organizations have been able to use our data set to expand some knowledge. Really briefly, I'll share that earlier this year, the AEA Consulting company released their 2022 Cultural Infrastructure Index. And this index provided analysts of 2022 data that explored the volume of global investments in cultural projects. Their index provided information on number, type, location, and budgets of infrastructure projects. We'll share a link to this report, but it utilized CDP data. We also were mentioned in an article So we have our collaborative work with the Theater Communications Group, and we released a Theater Facts. And so our Theater Facts was referenced this summer in the Clara Joy Davids article, Industry Trends Weekly for BroadwayWorld.com. And this article looked at theater facts and reported on examining trends in the theater, and it specifically looked at audiences. And finally, our friends at the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance and the PA Humanities, they had released earlier, towards the end of last year, their Cultural Recovery and Regrowth Project. And it looked at COVID-19's impact on their artistic community. So these are just some of the ways that some of our partners have been able to learn and utilize data to expand more knowledge. I want to take a moment to also share how we at SMU Data Arts have been able to utilize some information and provide insights to the field. So from SMU Data Arts, our research team has been busy providing insights to the field. In 2013, Chicago's Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, that we call DCASE, we partnered with them and our research team to examine the financial and operating trends among their applicant organizations. What they wanted to do is kind of get the temperature check on the health of their sector, and especially after the devastating blow of COVID. Organizations themselves were a bit worried about the lag in audience return and the fact that those relief dollars that they experienced during COVID would be changing and would be running out. This study looked at 548 organizations and again, looked at their financial and operating data from 2019 to 2022. And this report utilized data from CDP, DCASE's Art Recovery Program applications, and 990 data. There are really insightful takeaways, and I really do hope that you take a moment to explore this report that we released because it has some really great information that could be really helpful. And if you applied it to your community, you can learn some really interesting things as well. We also have our Arts Vibrancy Index. We publish our Arts Vibrancy Index and its map since early 2014. And so we look at the different factors that drive art vibrancy in over 900 communities across the United States. Arts Vibrancy aims to capture and celebrate diversity of arts activity within communities across the nation and help those communities learn about their unique strengths, as well as opportunities to increase their vibrancy. This index is composed of over 13 measures, which cover three main aspects of vibrancy: the supply of arts and culture, meaning people and organizations providing access and engagement in the arts, and the demand dollars generated for the arts within that community, as well as the kind of public support from the arts via state, federal, and local art agencies. The reporting we do for AVI isn't limited just to those top 40 communities. We encourage you to explore our map that accompanies this index. What's really great about the map is that it provides additional information that is not included in the report, such as leisure activities and socioeconomics. So when you're thinking about a community's wealth or hotels, zoos, and restaurants, we know that these non-art activities and living conditions are associated with art vibrancy. And so you can see the colors that indicate the different strengths of a particular area. So I encourage you to explore that report and explore this map. It's a wonderful tool to help learn a lot more. And I know our team is dropping links so that you can learn more and can connect. Now, we often explore additional factors that impact art vibrancy. Specifically, this past spring, we released an accompanying piece using additional data from Americans for the Arts, and we explored the impacts of local art agencies. We found that funding for local art agencies yield positive results for the overall arts vibrancy and its underlying rubrics for art providers, art dollars, and state and government funding. So focusing on art providers, we were able to see that there was a direct impact in the number of nonprofit art and cultural organizations. the number of art and cultural employees, and the number of art and entertainment organizations, and the number of independent artists. This was the case for all size categories, so large, medium, and small communities. We learned that local art agency support fuels growth in these areas, no matter what a community size. It's really great if you take a moment to explore this report, because there are additional features that you can engage with. And finally, I want to encourage you to continue to learn with us and follow all of our past research and reports. But it's important that we share that this year we also grew in staff. We were able to add Dr. Jen Benoit-Bryant, who serves as our Director of Research. I want to share a little bit about Jen and her past work. So Jen joins our team after serving as the president of Slover Linnett's audience research. She led a team by prioritizing research strategies that pull in new voices, that are collaborative, and that create and co-create with communities, that spark and support lasting change in the art and cultural sector. During her time at Slover Linnett, Dr. Benoit-Bryant worked on a wide range of topics, including her work with the Museums Moving Forward initiative. And I want to pinpoint that because you'll probably hear from me in some of our events that we have planning for the upcoming year. I also want to take this moment to call out a couple of resources that are available to you. You're able to connect with us and continue learning from our research. But as I said in the beginning, we do have trainings that for folks who are maybe new to your team and getting oriented with the cultural data profile. We have on-demand trainings of how to get oriented to CDP. We also collect our past video webinar recordings. So we had a community conversation with a couple of folks from our top vibrancy list. Join us in a conversation, and it's a wonderful webinar, and I encourage you to take a look. We also have our Data at Work training and webinar that's available on demand, along with our Navigating Recovery, which was our conversation with the folks in Chicago about that navigating recovery work. We are also dropping links for you to learn a little bit more about our data set and how to engage with us if you're learning or hoping to do your own research. And we also have a suite of online data literacy courses, recognizing that all of us may be coming from different angles of data. For some folks who may be at the beginning of their journey, wanting to get more comfortable with the CDP, with data in general, we have those online courses that are free and available to you. And so with maybe your break time, you can take a little bit of time to learn a little bit more. Now, I am excited to pass the baton to my colleague, AJ, who's going to walk us through a brief little game. AJ?
Thank you so much, Monica. So at this time, we'll be playing a quick trivia game that we like to call, Are You Smarter Than a Data Artisan? In this game, we'll test your CDP and data arts knowledge with a few trivia-style questions. I hope you were listening very carefully earlier because much of what you heard will be on the test. Here's how to play. Our team is going to prompt you with 6 trivia questions. These questions will either be multiple choice or true or false. To provide your answer, you'll see a Zoom quiz feature for you to select your answer to each prompt. You'll have about 30 seconds to answer each, and you will be keeping your own score. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat to reach out to our team on the back end to help with any technology challenges. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Our first question. What do we call our annual survey that collects financial and programmatic data each fiscal year? Is it the Cultural Data Program, the COP, the Cultural Data Project, or the Cultural Data Profile? All right, answers coming in. Wonderful. Counting down the time here a little bit. I think we'll have about 10 more seconds. I say as I'm staring at my non-existent watch. And with that, oh boy, answers coming in. All right, I think I will call it for now. The correct answer is 4, the Cultural Data Profile. The Cultural Data Project is a former name of what is now SMU Data Arts. very understandable why you might have that in your head. Moving on, our second question is true or false. The Support Center team at SMU Data Arts can review your organization's financial documents and help you enter your data into the cultural data profile. Is this true or false? All right, a lot of activity coming in about 15 seconds. I'll close it down, but wonderful to see so many folks engaged. A couple more answers coming in. I'll wait a couple extra seconds. All right, call and close now. The people have spoken, and I do concur with their assessment. The correct answer is true. Our support center can be a helpful, I would say very helpful resource to you. We're able to look at your financial documents, be those audited financial statements or a 990 or a profit and loss or really anything else you got, and advise you on how to best translate those documents into the survey, which is one of the major challenges of using the platform. And we are very much here to help you with that. Moving on to question number 3. Question number 3 is also a true or false. You can only complete an annual CDP if you have a participating grant maker that requires you to enter data. True or false? All right, we are seeing some unanimity of purpose here. All right, about 10 seconds, I'm going to call close. All righty. Polls are closed. Results are up. So the correct answer in this case is false. You are welcome to enter your data into the CDP no matter if you have a participating grant maker or not. If you would like to have access to our suite of up-to-date analytic reports for your organization or take a look at your KIPI dashboard scores based on your latest data, the CDP is there for you no matter or to enter your data at any time. Furthermore, in the future, if you do have a grant that comes up that requires the CDP, you'll already have that data entered, and all you'll need to do is run a funder report, which just takes a couple of minutes, and then you'll be done. So moving on, we are on to question number 4 on the back half now. Right. If you have a question while inputting your data into the CDP, how soon should you reach out to the Support Center for help? Is it 1, after you've completed some other sections, because, no need to worry anybody with my questions, I'll try something else and come back to it later. 2, immediately. I can email or call their phone number to speak to someone directly, usually right away. If you are getting things done right away. Option 3, this is a trick question, but I'll ask my colleagues, they might know. Or 4, never. You've never had a CDP question or issue, or anytime one comes up, you just try to Google it and do the best you can. Right? Seems like folks have been answering while I'm going through the descriptions. I'll give it a few more seconds and then end the poll. All right, the overwhelming majority of folks picked option 2, which is the correct answer. So our team is always ready to help, or, well, let me qualify that. We are ready to help immediately during our opening hours of 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. But you can always send an email and we'll get back to you as soon as we can the next business day. We can assist with a broad variety of questions or issues, from something like a password reset, or I'm having trouble joining an organization, to, oh wow, my audit is incomprehensible, how do I ever make this all fit, to how to run a funded report, or really almost any other question you might have. Our team is here to help make the data entry process less daunting, so the sooner you reach out, the better. All right, moving on now to question number 5. True or false, once again, the data that you enter into the CDP can be helpful to you outside of the grant-making process, as well as help SMU Data Arts provide insights into the arts and cultural sector. All right, coming in. Give it about 10 more seconds. All right, closing it now. And it seems that we have a unanimous winner here, and that is true, which is correct. The data that you enter can help you learn so much about your organization and help us understand trends in the sector. And with that, I think we have one more question, question number 6, which I'm going to launch now. All right, so final question. Once you enter your data into the CDP, what resources do you have access to? Is it 1, the KIPI dashboard, 2, the latest research from SMU Data Arts, 3, trend and comparison reports, or 4, all the above? Right, in. All righty, let's have a look here. Have a pretty strong majority in favor of number 4, all the above, which is true. Thank you so much for playing today. Please tabulate your scores at this time. If you got all 6 right, congratulations! You are officially smarter than a data artisan. If you didn't, that's also okay. Thank you so much for coming out today and taking part in our year in review webinar, and we really appreciate it. With that, I am going to turn things back over to Monica to help close us out. Monica, take it away.
Thank you so much, AJ. You are a wonderful game show host. It is exciting to see everyone get all of those answers right and just engage with us about how they can stay engaged with data arts. I'm sorry, no prizes. There were a lot of folks registered. So you have the prize of pride that you are indeed smart, just like us. Before we end out, I want to share some of the things that are upcoming for the next year, and that we hope that you, again, of course, stay engaged with us in our work. But just thinking about the CDP, a lot of folks will be entering data for the upcoming ends of their fiscal year. And so we just want to remind you that we'll kick off the year with a live orientation into the cultural data profile. Again, this will be a webinar where you'll hear from some folks on my team, and of course, someone from the support center. We'll talk about how to start entering your data and to help you kind of understand the platform and how to use it best. We'll also host our data arts analytic tools, data at work webinar. And what that is a wonderful way to get started with using those analytical tools that we've talked about. Once you've entered your data into the CDP, you'll want to know, how do I access those KIPI scores that I heard about today? Or how do I learn more about comparison reports? It'd be really great to know that. Within this webinar, we explore how to find these reports and a little bit about how to interpret them. And again, someone from our support center will also be there to walk you through it. And finally, as far as webinars, in January, we're excited to partner with Dr. Jen Benoit Bryant and the folks at Museums Moving Forward and American Alliance for Museums as we host a conversation around their latest report. We'll be looking at their data through a well-being lens. And so we are excited to host that presentation, and we hope that you are able to join us at the end of January for that one. And finally, it's important to note that our research work continues. We are so excited for the upcoming year because we have a lot of things to share and really good insights to share with the field. So first, I want to share that we'll have a national analyst of the distribution of federal COVID-19 relief funds for the arts and cultural sector. A report that'll come out in the upcoming year will look at how the arts and cultural sector was supported by federal relief in comparison to other nonprofit sectors. While we'll also look at where the relief money went and how it was distributed. Another thing that you'll find coming from SMU Data Arts is our work in collaboration and partnership with the Theater Communications Group. We'll be sharing their annual Theater Facts. And for those of you who are not as familiar, Theater Facts is an in-depth report that examines the attendance, performance, and overall fiscal state of U.S. professional, not-for-profit theaters. And later this month, we'll also publish it's an update to our research on machine learning, and that was to evaluate grant making. This project that we've undertaken with the Greater Pittsburgh Art Council works to explore the application requirements and to review processes that impact funding decision with a machine learning model. If you have stayed connected with us this year, we offered a webinar, which was a wonderful experience to discover a little bit of our preliminary work on this topic. I don't think I have that link, but we'll be sure to share that if you would like to watch an on-demand version to be caught up for this new update that's coming. Another update that you'll hear from us in 2024 has to do with our arts vibrancy. And we'll be releasing a state-based index that uses our 2023 ABI data. And finally, we'll be releasing research that we've been working on over this past year, and it focuses on small art and cultural organizations. With budget sizes under $50,000. And I just want to give a little bit of a snapshot about this project. We always ask, what are folks interested to learn about from SMU Data Arts? And someone shared that they wanted to learn a little bit more about small organizations and their impact. With that idea, we were able to create and develop an advisory group. And together throughout this year, we've been discussing some of the topics and things around small organizations. And so we're excited that this upcoming year will release our landscape that focuses on the mapping and the amount that these small organizations utilize throughout the US. We'll explore business models and the structures that organizations within this size category bring to the arts community as a whole. So I'm excited about all of these projects that we have coming down, and we, again, really hope that you stay engaged with us. And it really does begin with the data that you enter into the cultural data profile. I will say that is truly the end and the heart of our time together. I've noticed that our chat feature has been really moving with a lot of the links that we've shared, but some of the questions that you have about some of our research, I'll share, we'll take a lot of those questions in and share it with our research team to get back at you. Some of them are very nuanced questions about our research. So I just want to point that out. We'll be able to connect you with some of the folks who can better answer those questions. And I also want to make sure that I highlight and shout out the support center. Dan and AJ, Eamon and Ben are amazing at what they do. So if at any point during your data entry process, I want to just make sure that you know that those are the folks that you're going to engage with, and they're going to provide you with some great service and some great information. They're a wonderful, wonderful resource and tool.
Thanks, Monica.
No problem. And finally, before I end, I do say It's always great to stay engaged with us. We invite you to follow us on our multiple social media platforms. Stay connected with us. We'd love to learn more about your data entry journey and how we can support you. But again, another way to stay connected with us is following all of the research that we have coming and engage with our staff. We say that if you have a question, that support center is your first line of defense, but there's also other folks, and you were able to meet some of the people behind the backgrounds today. So thank you for a wonderful year of CDP entry. Thank you for your partnership and collaboration. 2023 is almost in the books, and we're so excited to partner with you again for 2024. I know our team is probably still getting a few more questions in the chat and Q&A, so we're going to remain on our webinar space for just another moment or two. But again, we just want to say thank you for a great year. We wish you a wonderful break as you celebrate the new upcoming year, and we'll see you in 2024.